everyone, I'm Larkin from Viennese Trees. What I'm here to share with you today is a few ways to enjoy maple syrup beyond just pancakes. So if you're looking for a quick and easy, decadent way to have maple syrup, pour it over vanilla ice cream and enjoy. However, I don't think you need an entire YouTube tutorial on how to enjoy vanilla ice cream, so I'll leave that one up to you. And instead, we're going to be making a bourbon barrel-aged maple syrup pear cheesecake. So, we're going to get started with the crust. Super easy. It's a graham cracker maple crumble. So what I got here are our graham crackers. It was 1 packet's worth in the box. Ran them through my food processor instead of having to mash them by hand. And then to that, we've got 1 stick's worth of butter, totally melted. Alright, we'll get those last drips in there and stir that in. And there we go, that looks like about half a cup. I wish you could smell this. It already smells great. Okay. So we'll mix that in. Alright, and once that's all mixed up, we're going to put it in our springform container. So this is a springform pan, and all that means is you can open it at the end. So instead of having that thing where you make cheesecake and then have to try and scrape it out, you just pop the edges out. Pour all of the graham cracker goodness in there, and then kind of spread it around, just making sure it kind of gets all the way to the edges, but not super thick. Ooh, throw a little on the table. You don't want your crust to be too much when you're having a good cheesecake. Then once you've got that all spread and mixed in there, you're going to set that aside. Now, in case I forget to tell you later, one important step before baking your cheesecake is to just make sure to put a couple layers of aluminum foil around the edge of your springform if you're using one. That'll just keep it from leaking out kind of in the cracks. And the last thing you want is to be thinking that you're going to be smelling the smells of a baking cheesecake and instead smell the smell of burning goodness dripping out of the bottom of your stove. Alright, so I'm going to go and grab a few more of my ingredients and then I'll be right back and we'll start making the filling for the cheesecake. Ta-da! Alright, so the next step we're going to do is making the cream cheese filling. So to start that out, of course, you need cream cheese. So we've got 4 8-ounce packages of cream cheese. Gotta go big when it comes to theirs. Our next step is to stir them, which might mean you watching me stir for a little bit here. Alright, so then to our cream cheese mountain here, the next thing we're going to add is eggs. Alright, so we're going to have 4 eggs. One, 2, 3. Perfect. No shells. And if there were, you wouldn't know. But there aren't, I promise. Alright. Now we get to do the stirring scene again. This one's definitely a gushier stir we've got going here. I think I'm gonna go and use a blender or a mixer and come back and make it look like magic. Alright, see you in a minute, guys. Alright, so I've got the mixer. And after having tried doing this by hand, I feel like I'm going to amend our a recipe online and just take out that part about the wooden spoon. I've never tried it before, and it turns out it's really hard. Alright. So getting pretty creamy here. Still have a few chunks of cream cheese. I'm just gonna try and work my way through. Shut this off. And try not to splatter everyone. Okay. So, after we've got everything blended and not just chopped together with a spoon, we need to add our maple syrup and our vanilla. So this recipe gets 1 cup of maple syrup. There we go. And 1 tablespoon of vanilla. There we go. I've also tried it doing like half a tablespoon of vanilla and half a tablespoon of bourbon. It is a great choice. Alright. There we go. I have just the right amount of vanilla. Alright. And now we're going to blend it one more time. I promise we'll be quick about it. Beauty. Now that I've got it all mixed, it's time to put it into our springform pan. Get my eggs out of the way there. I'm just gonna pour it in right on top of the crust that we already put in there. Once you've got all of that in there, and you're not dripping too much on your own table, you're just gonna smooth it around in your spring form. And once you've got it nice and level and don't have any kind of streaks going up the side, you're gonna bake it. And you're gonna bake it in the oven at 350 degrees for about an hour. Baking it that long, it won't be fully set up when you take it out, but that's all right. It is going to keep kind of baking and firming as it goes. But that's a good way to keep it from being burnt. All right, I'm gonna go pop this guy in the oven, and I'll see you in a minute. All right, so while our cheesecake is baking, we can get our final step ready. And the final step is our pears. So, first we're going to cut our pear and slice it just into really thin slices here. Thinner than that. If you've got a mandolin, something along those lines, but you want them to be pretty much almost see-through, you know, like at least letting some light through. Alright, you're gonna cut pretty much your whole pear up this way. And then once we have our thin slices, we're going to glaze them with just a little bit of the bourbon barrel aged maple syrup. Alright, and what the pear adds is, one, they're super beautiful on the top, but then it also adds just a little bit of kind of the crunchy texture and kind of that mix of a little bit of tangy from the pear and then the sweetness of the maple syrup to really, really kind of add that last dimension of flavor to your cheesecake. So I'm going to pour just a little bit of syrup into a bowl here, and then take my trusty cooking brush here and just paint a little bit of syrup on these pear slices. Now once they're all painted up, I'm going to put them in the oven, and they're going to be on for about 15 minutes at 450 degrees. And that's with you kind of moving them around a few times in there to keep them from burning. And then once we do that, I'm going to take them out, flip them over, re-glaze them, and then broil them for just a couple minutes. I would say the rule with broiling, at least for me, is do it for less time than you think you need to, or you'll burn everything. So I'll probably just stand by the oven and kind of keep an eye on it until it looks like they're just starting to kind of get a little bit crispy. And then I'll take them out, wait for my cheesecake to cool a little bit, and then we can put them all together. Alright, we're almost glazed here. I've got a few ugly ones that I'll probably just snack on while I'm putting everything together. Alright, so we'll take these, put them in the oven, and then when we come back we'll be able to put the cheesecake and the pears together and see how it all looks. See you soon! Alright, welcome back. So I've glazed my pears, kind of did a broil with the maple syrup on either side. I did set off my smoke alarm, but we're all learning together here. So now I've got kind of the completed cheesecake with the pears on top. And let's take the spring form off here to get kind of our final look. It hasn't cooled yet, so I will not be able to take a bite right now, but from the little crumbs that I pulled off of it earlier, it's going to be as delicious as I remember it. So I hope you've enjoyed either baking along with me or at least watching me kind of work my way through this recipe with you guys. We'll have the recipe written down in the whatever it is, the feed. Something below where this video is will have the recipe, and thanks for joining. Bye.